All right. Welcome to Million Hour Workweek, where we learn the stories and work life of entrepreneurs so that if you are looking to start this type of business, you will have a little insight into what it takes to start, run, and successfully profit off of a business like this. And for the community to learn a little bit more about the person behind the business. Today I have here with me Alex Dyckson from Dyckson Photography. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm doing good. How's your day been?
It's been good.
Good.
Tell us who you are.
Yeah, my name's Alex Dyckson. I am 28 years old and a father of one.
Yes.
A husband
new
of
father.
one.
Yes. Husband of one, yeah.
New, and I feel like I'm 40 now, which is crazy.
Yeah. I've heard that fatherhood does age you
Yeah.
very quickly within that first year.
Absolutely.
But in a good way.
It is.
In a good way. Okay, what is your business, Alex?
Yeah, my business is simply Alex Dyckson Photography. I hope that tells you, what I do. But
very telling.
yeah, that's me.
Okay. How long have you been in business?
I've been in business for just over 2 years, but I've been doing photography for probably 2 decades.
Oh, yeah?
Really. Which I can tell more of that story if you want
We'll
to know.
get there. We'll get there.
Okay. Don't want to spoil anything.
No, absolutely. You're okay. If someone followed you around for the next 30 days, what would they learn about your life that they couldn't learn from social media?
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah?
Because I don't post almost anything on social media. That's
Yeah.
actually maybe the thing that I am worst at in business, because I didn't think I was signing up to be a content creator when I started a business.
Yeah.
And it's still something that I'm like pulling my hair out about, because even in my personal life, I started an Instagram account when Instagram first dropped on the App Store because I was a photographer, because I liked photography. And as soon as it became like a social media platform, when Facebook bought it, I was like, I don't care about this anymore.
You're like, actually delete. Yeah.
So like my last post on my personal account is from probably 2014. So
nice.
That's still something I'm learning. So yeah, you would learn a lot about me. Of course, I have a family. What else do I do? I don't know. Family and my business is
Family and
basically
business, yes.
the 2 things I do right now.
Yes.
And I love my life. I do also have a corporate job. So this is a side gig that I'm trying to turn full time. So that's kind of my current goal, is just being able to do this and support my family. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if I've ever said it on the podcast, but this is local to the Tulsa area. Did you grow up in Tulsa?
I was born here, yeah, and I have had a couple of opportunities to possibly, move somewhere else. My wife and I thought about that honestly very slightly, because I do have, family here. And then before I met my wife, working in a corporate job, like, you do have kind of opportunities to move around at times. And so I don't know if I ever really seriously considered it, but yeah, Tulsa's great. So
Yeah.
I just kind of stuck around.
What were your parents from Tulsa?
My parents are actually from Canada.
Oh, really?
My mom moved there when I was 2, or sorry, when she was 2.
Yes.
And they moved down here to go to Bible college, and they stayed.
Really?
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's funny. I actually have a friend from church that her family is only 2 hours away from my family in rural Alberta. So it's like, how did both of these farm families move down to Tulsa? I don't know, but
and to end up in the exact same spot. Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
So what did your parents do for work when you were growing up?
My dad is a production set designer, or was. So it was always fun getting to follow him around and just see the random things he was building. I remember distinctly, like, he would work with styrofoam. So would carve almost like, I mean, it's not really like chiseling stone, but, being able to cut styrofoam and make massive kind of set displays. It's very cool. It's cool seeing my dad kind of be creative and in charge of his own business growing up. So yeah.
Would you say that getting to see that would kind of like push some of that entrepreneurial skill set onto you?
I don't know. That's something that my mom always says is, even when I was like 5 years old in kindergarten, like she would wake up to like take me to school and I'd already have my clothes on. I'd have my backpack packed. Like I was a 5-year-old. Like I just had that sense of like, I need to do the things that are, the things I need to do. And so maybe that just came from, my genetics or something, or being the firstborn in my family. I don't know. But I think, I've always had a drive to do more, do the right thing, do what I need to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Speaking of whenever you were younger, what did you think that you wanted to do whenever you grew up?
That honestly is something that I was so clueless about. I remember kids in even grade school talking about what college they wanted to go to, what degree they wanted. And I was like, I don't want to do any of that. I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
That carried through really all the way through high school. And I was just like, whatever the next step looks like, I'm just going to do it. And so in terms of my love for photography, that came very early, but I really didn't think about it as a business opportunity until, the last 5 years. Yeah. So it's just been kind of one step at a time. And even now when my wife and I talk about planning our family and like planning, our dream home, or planning our, the careers we want to, like, I can barely think past like next week. Like that's how almost nearsighted I am. And that's always been very comfortable for me. Like I don't feel worried about the future. Yeah. And I also, it's kind of, I shoot myself in the foot because I feel like I don't have a planning bone in my body for that kind of long-term stuff. Like, so yeah.
Well, but you do see it as a pro for yourself, not a con, correct? Depending on the situation.
For me, for my wife, she's like, why don't you know what you want? I'm like, I'm totally okay with anything.
Whatever outcome comes, that's what I'm cool with.
Honestly, having a business has stretched me because I have to have a little bit bigger goals. I have to have a little bit more long-term foresight for what I want, especially thinking about moving from a stable corporate job to running my own thing. And so like I feel like I have the responsibility piece, but that planning is definitely something I'm working on. In that, so it sounds like you were a very efficient kid. Would you say, I struggle with this a lot, would you say that you were a rigid scheduler? Like, where if you set out a schedule in your mind, that was the schedule you had to go through. Like, you can't differ from that. Because that's what I have had to, like, overcome in these last couple of years. Is because, like, if I left somewhere and I was like, okay, I'm going to get my car and I'm going to drive home. And, like, in my car, I'm like, well, I'm a little hungry. I should stop and eat. I'm like, no, you can't stop and eat because that's not on the schedule. Like, that's how I was. So, have you ever struggled with that? I think in terms of, like, hour by hour, I'm pretty good at being flexible now. I think less so the schedule aspect and just my like expectations for like the list of things I want to get done in a day. So sometimes I do get to the end of my day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I barely got anything done. Even though like if those were the only 2 things on my list that I got done, I would be like, dang, I did a lot. So oftentimes it's just like me setting expectations for myself and not setting the bar low, but also not setting it too high, and just kind of having grace for myself in that.
Did you ever feel pressure to succeed or go down a certain path when you were a kid?
No. And that was very relieving because I imagine those grade schoolers who had all these plans, maybe they had older siblings they were looking up to, maybe they had parents that had high expectations, and my parents had zero expectations, even maybe to a fault where they didn't maybe push me to my highest potential. But I never had my parents even really suggesting a career path, suggesting I even go to college. My parents didn't go to college. So they really they always supported the things I wanted to pursue. And I can only think of one time where my dad sat me down. I wanted to quit soccer in the middle of the season. And it was like the only time he was like, no, I want you to finish this out. Even though, like, for the most part, like, not that they would just let me do whatever I wanted, but yeah, I was just, they were very supportive and kind of let me choose my own stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So in that aspect of saying that they didn't like push for a certain path or anything like that, what would you say success looked like in your household?
Ultimately, my parents wanted me to know myself. And so I think I've done the work to take a step back at kind of the pivot points of life and really ask myself those questions of what do I actually want? Because I'm so nearsighted, like I'm not thinking about that very often. And so I think there's points like when I am kind of entering a new job or getting married or buying a house where it's like, okay, let's pause. Is this the step I want to take right now? And so really that's all my parents wanted, was making sure that I was making steps that made sense for me at the time. So yeah.
Have you ever had a moment in time where you did have to like take a step back and you're like, actually, this isn't what I wanted, and like have to kind of pivot on what you were going to do?
Yeah. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was running my own YouTube channel. Me and my brother had started, and a couple of our friends, a channel called Being Friends. It's a board game channel. We love board games.
That's cute.
And that was growing pretty well. Like, I was really excited about that. I made the mistake of adding another side project to my life, and that started taking over. Honestly, this is one of my biggest regrets, because I should have just, and this should is maybe the wrong word, but I could have focused on the thing that was doing really well, something I was still having a lot of fun with. And I turned this other side project into another business, basically. And it just started taking up so much of my time. And my wife was noticing that I was burning out. I was doing YouTube and this project and working full time. And so I was just kind of working nonstop. And it came to a point where that new side project was kind of not working, even though I was having a lot of fun doing it, having a good time building this thing. And so that was a sign that I needed to stop. So I kind of stopped everything. I really was burnt out.
Yeah.
And pretty much took a year off of really any kind of side things. I hadn't started my photography business at that point. And so, and I had kind of thought about doing photography or videography. So I was like, well, I can't add a third thing.
Yeah, no, for real.
But by the time I had quit, taking that step back, taking a year to just breathe and kind of not pay my wife back, but like show up and not take that time away from her.
I was going to ask, how did you and your wife navigate kind of moving forward through that?
She had to be really honest with me, and I really appreciate her for that, because there are moments in life where you do have to sacrifice, but you have to do it in a way that is so open and communicative that both people involved in a marriage know what the sacrifice is, and that it's open to changing whenever, you know, that strain on the relationship goes past a certain point. And so we were pretty newly married, and we weren't really good at that communication yet. So it was great for us to go through, but by the time it reached a certain point, it was just like, oh, I need to focus on my marriage.
Yeah.
And
It's this or that.
it's this or yeah. So getting through that was good, and we had to relearn trust in that context of me working on something.
Yeah.
So even when I started my business, there were moments where she was like, this seems like this is happening all over again.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want that. So how do we take these steps forward? And so, yeah, it's been really good getting to kind of redefine what it looks like for, you know, me to work full time and have a side project that I want to grow. So yeah, just being really honest ultimately. And again, that's really hard for me to look at in a long-term scope. And so she's helped me do that and be able to say like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I think you want to be there too, together. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
No, for
what does
real.
it require of us to? So yeah, it's been good.
Well, I like that you pointed on like the amount of honesty that it takes, because that really is something that you don't consider whenever you start a business, is that like, yes, it's going to affect you. It's also going to affect your counterpart the exact same way. Even if they're not physically putting in the work, like the emotions and like how much you're dealing with definitely affects the same to the other person.
It's huge.
So that is something that does need to be like forefront whenever you are thinking about starting a business.
It's hard for me, when I was pushing so hard, I could justify it by saying, I'm doing this for my family. Like I could sacrifice sleep. I was getting 4 hours of sleep a day for months and months. And I was like, it's okay, because I'm going to get to this goal I have to support my family and be free from my corporate job and do something I love. And like, that's kind of the dream world, right? At least in my eyes, it was like that point. And I was like, I could sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
And then I realized that it was my wife that I was sacrificing.
Yeah.
So that was, it was a wake up call. And it wasn't necessarily that I wasn't being honest. I was just not aware. And so, that being able to take a step back and count the cost.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Well, let's go back to the beginning of whenever you started this business.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you've had quite a bit of businesses in the past.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Different types,
usually
different
what
levels. Yeah.
business owners are like, yeah, I've had a few, but this is the one we landed
This is
on.
my 20th try.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
What was your life like right before you started photography?
My wife was pregnant with our first kid. And so it's one of those pivot moments. It's one of those times where you step back and say, what do we want our life to look like? And we were both working. We were in the process of buying our home. And, you know, I've had this goal in my kind of life to have my own business, to be able to have control over that, my time, do something that I'm more passionate about. And so after my burnout season, I had thought about, like, I've used cameras my whole life. I'm like, I know how to use a camera. I'm good at video. I'm good at photos. And so, I was just, I was scared to kind of start something again because of that damage I did to my relationship. But, at the same time, like, as we were talking about the vision for our life and having a kid, like, not knowing what that would look like, we're like, we want more flexibility. How do we get there? And so it was really a joint effort in that conversation. And so I already had, some of the gear that I needed. It was just a matter of starting to put myself out there. And so,
So
Yeah,
how did you start like marketing that in the beginning?
I started just by asking friends and family if they had any photography needs. And so I had a friend that had just gotten engaged. I had a friend that just had a baby. I did my wife's maternity photos. And so I just kind of got the ball rolling with that kind of stuff, building a portfolio. I had done some previous family photos for my wife's extended family. And so I kind of used that to start running ads on Facebook. And then things kind of just continued from there. One of my friends from church reached out to me about 5 months in and said, hey, my friend is getting married in a month and their photographer just bailed on them. And I was like, oh, that's not good. But I was so scared to do a wedding because I didn't know anything about wedding photography. It's much more high stakes.
Yeah.
And so I sat down with them. I'm like, hey, listen, I might not be the right guy. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they were like, honestly, just because you're a friend of a friend, like, we trust you. Like, we were like acquaintances.
Yeah.
And they were like, and we just cannot find someone that fits our budget. And I was like, well, I can fit your budget because I don't. Yeah. So I didn't do a lot of sessions for free, but very, very affordable for
like
friends.
$20 photos. Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of how things got started. And then even just after that first wedding, I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
I got that.
I mean, it is nice of you to tell them like, hey, this might be out of my wheelhouse because like, honestly, at the end of the day, like there are some things you can lie about with a business. There are some things that you cannot lie about. Yeah. And like whenever it's someone's wedding that they're only going to have once, you can't rerun the wedding. That's something you don't want to lie about. You want to be like, hey, maybe this isn't for me. But like, you know, if it's their kids' first pictures, you can retake those pictures. Absolutely. It's fine if they don't like them. But like, so that's nice of you to tell them.
It was honestly it was actually such a pivotal moment for me because I was going to say no. I was like, I won't do this. And my wife really pushed me. She was like, you can do it. And they want you to. So it's like, why not? And I was really scared to do it, but it went well. They were good, not great, but they loved them. And it was a great experience. So, yeah, I think it was just that alone showed me that like I can do way more than I think, but also like I can do things outside of my wheelhouse and make mistakes. Yeah. And it's going to be okay. Yeah. So that's been good.
What was the biggest thing that scared you when you started out?
When I started, I think the thing that, you know, when I'm doing the math, and I like doing the math on my finances and like what I want my financial goals to be. The number I realized I had to charge eventually to make this a full-time gig, I was like, are you joking me? Who's going to pay for that? Yeah. That was really scary because I was like, do I even start this business if I don't think I'm like ever going to get there? Yeah. And so I did some research and I was like, how do photographers raise their prices? How do business owners raise their prices? Yeah. Because, yeah, you can do $50 sessions for a while to build your portfolio, but like that's not going to cut it forever. You cannot. Yeah. So I was like, I know photographers that do this full time. And I've seen them on Instagram. But like, how is that going to be me? And so that was the scariest part, is just not knowing who am I, who's going to pay for this?
Yeah. Well, it's actually really interesting that you bring up raising prices. Like, I haven't even thought about that, but that was a big issue for me with lashes. Yeah. Because, like, you start out at a reasonable price, but, like, eventually you do have to raise your prices, especially with inflation over the last couple of years. And just, like, supplies prices and things like that. Like, so that was one thing that scared me as well. I was like, I'm going to lose all my clients, like, if I raise my prices. And so I raised them, like, maybe $15, like, nothing crazy. And, like, my clients were fine. But, like, that was scary. And, like, I remember literally making my new price sheet and being like, man, I hope I get my clients back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I've learned ultimately is that the people who want what you're able to offer, even if it's stretching their budget, for instance, they will be so excited to spend money with you, which is so relieving. And having some opportunities to have really higher ticket clients, even if it's, you know, a one and done thing that they may never come back for, it's just like, it's just proof that, oh, this can work. And so it's kind of one of those things, like you said, you can kind of lie about, is that, oh, or lie to myself about, oh, people do this. People spend this kind of money.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, those people do. Yes.
I don't, but, like, I'm not my ideal client. I don't have to be.
Yeah.
And that was some advice I got from a business coach that really stuck with me. It's like, you don't have to be your ideal client. Your family members certainly don't have to be your ideal client.
Yeah.
You can serve people that, you know, your mom and dad maybe couldn't afford, or your brother or sister couldn't afford. Like, that's okay. So it's a hard pill to swallow, because, like, yeah, looking at it took me so long looking at my own pricing sheet to be like, there's no way. Like, there's just no way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's getting to the other side of that. And I still sometimes, there's a little bit of anxiety around talking to maybe an inquiry and saying, like, I would love to work with you, but I fear that as soon as I say how much I feel like I'm worth, you're going to walk away.
Yeah.
The truth is that's just true. Like, when I walk into a store, a Costco or a boutique or something, when I look at the prices, I might go, oh, man, that's disappointing. But I'm not like, oh, I hate the person who set this price.
Yeah.
Like, I hate this. Like, that's what it feels like. So just overcoming that, I think, is really important.
Well, that's actually really nice that you do say that, because I've never heard of that. And that is a nice perspective to have, is that, like, your customer base doesn't have to be you or anyone that you've ever known. Yeah. It can be, like, there are billionaires out there that buy islands. And, hey, guess what? Your neighbor's probably not buying an island, but, like, there's a market out there for them. Yeah. So it is kind of nice to have that, just to be able to ground yourself of, like, there's billions of people out there. Like, there's a market for you.
Yeah, there's a funny kind of reverse psychology to it as well, where actually people who want someone they can trust actually trust you more if you charge more. And that feels wrong. It feels like most people are looking for the best deal. But actually, there's just countless studies on this, not just with, like, services, but even food, for instance. Like, people's brains enjoy things more when they invest more in it. Because you are more present to it. Yeah. You're literally putting money on the line. If it's food, if it's an experience, if it's a product you're buying. Like, when you have $1,000 bag, you are more excited to put that on than your, $100 bag. Yeah. Right? And as I started to see that, like, again, I don't spend that kind of money, but the people who do, they trust the people who charge that much. Yeah. So it's just, it's a weird world I have not lived in.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, like, I mean, I'm just now starting to get to this point of, like, seeing value, like, seeing true value in money. Yeah, like, yes, there's value in money, but, like, like, for example, I just went to that Pitbull concert.
Oh, yeah.
I spent $250 on those tickets.
Yeah.
So I got $250 worth of an experience that night. I lived it up. I was not on my phone, like, besides, like, taking videos and stuff. But, like, I was like, I'm going to get every bit of this night out of it.
Yeah.
Because of how much money I spent on it.
Yeah.
Which, going forward, like, I had such a great time because I thought of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I, honestly, had I not, I would have just sat there, my social anxiety would have got me, and I would have just had, like, a crappy time, and I was bald, man, so, like, I definitely would have been feeling bad. So I was really able to, like, separate myself from the experience, be like, no, like, I am gonna have a good time because I spent money on this.
Yeah.
So I do see that, as well as, like, whenever you do go buy, like, a nice purse, like, you feel more respect of that than, like, your $60 purse you got off Shein. Like, it's just more quality of it. Yes. Okay. In the beginning, did anyone tell you that they doubted you?
Yeah, totally.
Really?
Not necessarily my skill, but the pricing aspect of it. You know, I was telling some of my friends, like, hey, I'm trying this new thing that is different than what most photographers do. You know, I have, like, probably 5 photographer friends, you know, varying levels of business professionalism or just, like, hobbyist kind of friends. And, you know, my close friends also have their own 5 photographer friends. And so the people who have paid for photographers, especially when they're given, you know, a friend discount or something, it's like when I shared some of my pricing and my business model, there were people that are like, that will never work.
Really?
And I was, you know, I was very fresh in that kind of new look. But I was thinking about it like, well, my friend I've known for 20 years, he's not my ideal client. That's okay. He's fresh out of college. He's just starting his career. Like, so you have to know exactly who the people are, what their life is like, who do you want to serve? If you don't know who you want to serve, then every opinion is going to feel really personal.
Yeah.
And for the people who, again, it takes some proof, some evidence of it working to kind of silence those other voices. Not that I, like, am mad at them for saying that. It's just like, you know, I'm like, yeah, I think the same thing, but, you know, I'm not my ideal client. You're not my ideal client. That's okay.
What was there a ton of? I know that you said that you did have prior photography, like some equipment. Was there a lot of overhead getting started with this?
Totally, especially after I did my first wedding. I was like, my camera sucks.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily the quality, but the functionality, like, especially in a wedding where you have moments that are split seconds. You know, mom and the bride hugging.
Yeah.
That's probably going to happen again, but you don't know if you'll be there to capture it. So it's like having reliable equipment was definitely, like, on my bucket list. And so my gear was pretty old. It worked. And so I borrowed some lenses from my wife's uncle. He just had them laying around. I was like,
convenient.
Cool. So then I got to invest in a camera body and have slowly just built that up over time. And then, depending on how much we want to get into the product side, part of my business uniqueness as a photographer was helping families, helping, you know, busy moms, helping couples preserve their season, preserve the moments they want to preserve beyond just a digital library, a gallery that you scroll through or post a social media post. I had enough sessions where I sent the photos and I was like, I didn't hear back. I don't know if they love them. I don't know what they're doing with them. And so it left this kind of underlying anxiety of like, am I doing a good thing?
Yeah.
Is this just random or kind of useless extra stuff? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I want to be able to help people print their photos. And I knew nothing about it. And so that was definitely an overhead as well. Mm-hmm. Buying my own products as samples so I could show people what I want to create for them.
Yeah, you can show them if you want.
So, yeah, let me pull it out. This is my kind of...
Oh, that's pretty...
This is what I call my standard. Mm-hmm. And so this is my friend, the friends that I did an engagement session for.
Perfect.
And so it looks a lot bigger in my hands than it does on the wall. And I always say that because people are like, that's massive. Where would I put that? But like, if you look at this wall here, like that would be a good size for that wall there if you wanted just one statement piece. So I always call this like the statement piece. Mm-hmm. You could put it above a mantle, above a bed, headboard. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes I'll do a trio as well, so kind of two smaller ones on the side and have kind of a full display. So the beautiful part is from start to finish, we're designing the photo shoot for this. Mm-hmm. So it's not just kind of, we do a photo shoot and we see what works. I meet with every client beforehand. We talk about the vision that they have for their home, not for their photos.
Yeah. And
then we build the photo session around that. The location, the outfits, the posing, or the prompts that they might want to use. We look at their, inspiration on Pinterest, on Instagram. And so it becomes a much more in-depth experience for them. They feel like their season is truly being honored. Mm-hmm. And, a normal photo session is great. You get a lot out of it. But then, sometimes I'll do a session, like a design session in home, so we can look at frame options. Mm-hmm. We can look at what walls they're actually wanting to put photos on. Mm-hmm. And so it takes out this middleman almost where they're left with a to-do list after their photo shoot. Yeah. I take care of that for them, the design, the ordering, the delivery. And so, yeah, it becomes something where I've been able to deliver a framed portrait and I see their eyes light up. Mm-hmm. And then, I'll follow up with them and say like, is it up on the wall yet? And they just love it. Mm-hmm. So it goes beyond that. What was the original question? I'm circling back here.
I honestly don't remember what the original question was.
But yeah,
I've got one that I made up. It's not on my thing.
Nice. There's more here. So yeah, I've got other sizes. Just image bundles. Mm-hmm. So these are matted prints that you get. You can keep them in a box. You can frame these yourself if you want and put them around the house. I see most people keep them in a box or like on an easel.
Do you do books?
I do.
Yeah. Really? Oh, do you have a book with you? Oh, wow. How convenient. Yeah, let me see this book because
These are heirloom quality books. So I'll let you hold this.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so
my gosh.
I work only with vendors that...
This is like solid.
Exclusively work with photographers. So you have to like get approved by these vendors. So it goes beyond kind of the Shutterfly, print kind of experience.
Yeah, and this is like insane quality in these pictures.
And so I've essentially done my research and, gotten advice from other photographers that do this across the country. But, that way you know exactly what you're getting, right? You're looking at this. If you were planning a family photo shoot or an anniversary shoot or something, you're not like wondering when you put your card number in online wherever you're ordering from, like, what's this gonna be like?
Yeah.
You get to touch and feel it. Mm-hmm. You get to see some options of how this would look in your home. Mm-hmm. And so this is kind of one of my higher end ones. I have other options that fit other needs.
That's a gorgeous book.
I actually have one from a wedding I did.
Oh, yeah?
It is.
That's a nice
Your friend from episode 1.
How sweet. And we have Skylar.
So go watch her episode.
Circle around. Wow, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, so I did their episode, or their episode, their wedding.
Yes.
Last year.
Yes.
And
was a sweetie pie.
yeah, so this one's even bigger because there's usually more.
Yeah, let me look through this because these are
more
my
from
friends.
a wedding that you'll want to remember.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
That's so
god,
funny.
these are gorgeous. I just love these two.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah.
They've taught me a lot.
Okay. Now we're back to the episode. Anyways.
So yeah,
That's cute.
it's really honestly more fulfilling. It sets me apart from other photographers, which is always a good thing in a business, is like having a unique spin. But it's also just more value, like
Oh yeah.
saving people time, saving them the trouble of designing, saving them the worry about what quality they're going to end up with. And so, yeah, that's all factored into my business model, my pricing. It's really mostly about this. And so the downside is a lot of times people who reach out don't understand this.
Yeah.
So being able to communicate it very simply and quickly is really important. And I've had to learn a lot about that, but it's definitely been much more fulfilling than just sending people digital files. Like I said about social media, like I don't care about social media for myself.
Yeah.
And maybe for someone that's reaching out to me, they're like, I love having my social media polished, updated, showing my family at their best. That's great. Like all the better for you. But in terms of like why someone actually values a photographer, for the most part, they want to remember and cherish this season of life. It could be something that only happens once in your life, a wedding, a baby being born, their first couple weeks. Or it could just be like, my family's getting older. Every single year goes by so fast. And I've gotten to experience this for the first time, in the last 2 years with my son, is just like looking back at photos on my phone is fun and brings back those feelings. But this goes kind of beyond that and something that, I have a photo of my family on the wall in a beautiful portrait, framed. And my son gets to look up at that and say like, that's mom and dad. And
Yeah, that's the family.
That's us. Yes. And I think that does something. I remember seeing family portraits on my wall growing up.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's such a small detail in a house, but it does such a big thing to make it a home.
Yeah.
Because like, if you look around this house, we've lived here for 2 years and we don't have a single picture hung. Like, yes,
I can help you with that.
I do have one picture. It's in there above our bedroom, but like, and I do want to do pictures over here, but with the fish tank, it's just a whole thing. But like, I walk into like my best friend's grandma's house whenever I go to visit her, and like it's like years, like generations of portraits, and like that's all you see, and like you can go hours like down and look at every single picture. So it just makes, I feel like home pictures makes it a home. Like you can feel the love in a house like that.
Social media and just smartphones in general has been a crutch because we do get some of that same reliving of those memories. I love going through my photo feed, looking back 10 years ago and seeing like what was life like. But it is just different when it's there in front of you in real life. And I didn't have a wedding album until last year. Yeah, I've been married for 7 years.
Oh my gosh!
And it's like, if it took me, a photographer, someone who knows how to do this, that long to get my own out, like, of course people will want help with that.
Oh yeah.
So
oh, absolutely. I got thousands of pictures back from our wedding.
Yeah.
Because our photographer was like, you can have them all. Like, they look great.
Yeah.
And so I mean, like, I have an album of all of them, but like, I want to do a book.
Yeah.
I want to do one of those books.
Yeah.
And have it like as a coffee table book.
Yeah.
Because I love a photo book, but like, for the meantime, they are my background and I see them every day.
Yeah.
But like, if I didn't have this thing to flip through my photos, like I would truly never see them.
Yeah.
And we, one, spent bukus of money on them.
Right.
And two,
Yeah.
they're like the best pictures I've ever taken in my life. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to see them.
Get the most out of it,
Yes.
for sure. Yeah. It's definitely, weddings are really fun because they are such a big moment and you're already spending so much. Like, yeah, being able to go past just that 1,000 photo gallery and yeah, choosing the ones that like literally make your heart beat out of your chest. Like this moment I remember, or just, you know, even for some brides, like the way I look in this is amazing, which is great. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, being able to work with someone on that instead of just a photo dump, not to bash your wedding photographer.
You're good.
They did great. I love your wedding photos.
Thank you. Yeah,
They're
killed
beautiful.
it. She killed it. And
You chose a great location.
Well,
so.
thank you. The government really wasn't trying to let us choose it, but you know, we jumped the fence. It's fine. But yes, we ended up with her because we won an engagement photo shoot giveaway.
Yeah, that's right.
And so all of
Yeah.
our engagement pictures were free, and she did a great job, and she gave us so many for that as well. And so then we were like, yeah, let's just book you, because then we don't have to look for a photographer. You did great.
Absolutely.
And then we had her travel to New Mexico. We had her.
Yeah.
It was a sunrise wedding, so she had to be there at like
4 a.m.
4 a.m. Yeah. She had to be at my house at like 2 or something.
Wow.
Midnight, I think, is when she got there. No, I think she got there at like 2. I started getting ready at midnight.
Yeah.
But like for all of that, and then just like her flexibility with all of it.
Yeah.
Was what I really valued out of it. But whenever you were starting out, did you feel like you were continually making progress, or did you feel like you got stuck?
Yeah, it was definitely, I mean, I think I'm an emotional roller coaster. I seem very put together on the outside, but you could ask my wife, like, I take things very personally. And I'm still learning, especially as a solo entrepreneur, like, and my name is literally the name of the business. So it's like, there are things that just really sting. And so there are days, I had a day last week where I was like, everything went right. And I was just like, let's go.
Yes.
This is awesome. I'm on top of the world. Even though, you know, it wasn't like crazy. It's just like, things are going well. And then there have been months where literally everything is no. I spend a ton of money on ads, got no response. Like things obviously I look back and learn from those experiences. That's the most important part. But especially having a full-time job, there are definitely weeks and months where I'm like, I feel like this is just stagnant. It's just not doing anything. And so there are strategies that you can put in place to help the ball continue to roll. But especially being a new dad, it's like, how much energy do I have? So balancing that, like we were talking about with sacrifice and when do we want this goal to happen is difficult, and it's emotional. Yeah. And so that has been a challenge. But I think the thing that, like I've been saying, taking a step back, you know, I didn't, until like a couple months ago, I didn't even look back at how many sessions I did last year or what they were. And I just kind of listed them all out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did awesome stuff. I made stuff that was like real, that people really enjoy and get a lot of value out of. And so sometimes you're just going forward, you don't look back, and that's like, that can be the reason you feel like you're not moving. So
I know that your kid and your business kind of came at the same time.
Yeah.
So how did you navigate splitting your time as a new father and as a new business owner?
A lot of experimentation. I mean, there are stages with a baby that they're not doing a whole lot. You want to be around, you want to soak up that time, but you can, you know, be with your kid and make an Instagram post at the same time. my son was crawling at 4 months, so that period wasn't super long where I couldn't. Yeah. So I guess he's like me, a workaholic.
Yeah, you know.
And so balancing that is really just day by day, like checking in with myself, checking in with my wife, checking in with my business. And sometimes I get to the end of the day and I'm like, man, I did more scrolling on Instagram and YouTube than I wanted to. Mm-hmm. So I feel disappointed in myself. And then I'll flip that around and say, if that's what I chose to do, that might have been what I needed to just check out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I flip that again and I'm like, yeah, but you don't really need YouTube.
You actually don't need time off. Yes.
So I have a split personality, I guess.
Yeah.
No, but I think like being able to kind of work both those sides and like give yourself grace and push yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
And that dialogue I feel like is always going on in me, and just like one of them will win.
Yeah.
So.
When did you start to like? You're pretty consistent right now, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Because I see you always working on stuff.
Yeah.
So when did it start to pick up for you like that, where you like consistently had stuff to work on?
I think after that first wedding, I've this last 2 years mostly has been reinvesting into gear and marketing. Mm-hmm. So I will get a session, a wedding or something, use that money to buy the gear that I might need for that thing. Mm-hmm. And or use that money and that session to run ads to get more inquiries in. So that's kind of been a pretty good consistency. What's great about that, as I'm starting out, and I'm not just getting organic inquiries a lot of the time. Like I'll get some, but I can choose basically when I'm busy and when I'm not. Mm-hmm. If I'm running an ad, like I'll get inquiries because I'm paying for people to see my stuff.
Yeah.
If I'm not running an ad, I'll get some organic stuff. But it's kind of I look at it and I'm like, I can just kind of choose. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, budget is also part of that as a business. Like, so yeah, there's a lot of agency there is nice, even though I'd like to be at a place where like I'm always just getting inquiries. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah. So as you go towards like structuring this, like I'm sure your goal is for this to be full time.
Yeah.
What is your plan for retirement? Why are you laughing like that? Like, are you... So, the reason why I asked is because on my previous 2 episodes ago, that business owner said that she does not contribute to a 401k or a retirement plan or anything. Mm-hmm. So, whenever you do go full-time with this, are you going to consider, like, investing in a Roth IRA to set up retirement, or are you planning on just working until
I die?
Until you retire and pass.
Well, I've already mentioned I'm not a very forward thinker.
Yes.
I do have a 401k at my corporate job, so some of that will be there and continue to grow. It's not really like enough on its own. So, yeah, I think part of any business is kind of you have goals to accommodate your needs, and those goals reflect your pricing. And so when I can go into an inquiry call and know exactly what I need to make to check all the boxes, my living expenses for my family, savings and investments, business taxes, which
is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
The cost of products, the cost of gear, the costs of my time. Like I mean, I have a massive spreadsheet with all those numbers in it to be able to be confident when I'm on a call that like, this is worth my time. This is something that I should do.
Yeah.
And if they can pay that, then we're a good fit. So that's just kind of business 101. And so there are some things I'm still kind of calculating because I am a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect when I, go full time. I know that's not reality. There's going to be a shift where I will probably take a dip at first.
Yeah.
And so things like retirement, savings, that is obviously a value.
It's not on your forefront.
But it's not the thing that, like, it's something that I can sacrifice putting into up front, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Well, going forward, I do want to get people's or business owners' perspectives on retirement and like what their thought process is there, because I don't even know how what tangent we got on with Billy to bring that question up, but I was stunned that she was like, no, I'm gonna work till I die, and I was like, that's
well, and a lot of people building a business will eventually be able to take a little bit of a backseat if they can muster the courage to let other people drive.
Yeah.
With this, with a photography business, and again, like, I'm thinking of 1,000 things I could add on to that. But, I don't have a goal of, like, hiring anybody. Like, I guess I could hire, like, photographers under me or, like, and be able to do more sessions. But, like, that's a little bit different than, like, the experience I want to give. Yeah. So at this point, it's like, it's just my thing. It's just me. That's kind of the goal. So yeah, I'd have to be the one making the money to retire. I already mentioned I have arthritis symptoms. Like by the time I'm 65, I probably won't be able to hold a camera. So.
Well, I feel like that's honestly probably going to be in the future for a lot of us, just with how
much we're on.
Yes, how collectively we were on our phones and like your hands bent and like just doing all the things. We're probably all going to have arthritis, so it's okay.
Yeah.
What does your typical work day look like? Which I know that you do most of your editing at your corporate job and then some at home. Yeah. So what does your work day look like with that?
I will usually wake up and work on one of the projects I'm working on, one of the clients, like the gallery I'm editing, sometimes first thing in the morning. And I like having enough time before I get to my corporate job that like I'm awake and I've done something with my day already. It helps me feel like my corporate job isn't my life. Yeah. Which, the amount of time I'm there already feels like that. But having kind of my day where the most important things I'm doing are the things I choose to do with my time. I'll just I'll hit the ground running if I have the energy and the time to do it. With a young child, sometimes you don't sleep, and so you have to sleep in, or you just are a zombie, and so you just do what you can. But I'll work on my lunch breaks, on my my other breaks that I have, and just do as much as I can. I love the whole process of talking to a potential client, to the actual session, which you got to see, to editing the photos and turning them into a piece of artwork. Yeah. Like that whole process is so exciting to me that like I can sit down for my lunch and open my laptop and be like, okay, awesome. There's so much variety in a photo shoot. I mentioned when we were talking about how many photos I might get, I said maybe a couple thousand. It ended up being 3,300 photos I took.
My gosh.
Total that session. Now it was a little longer. I think we were out there for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I just got a lot.
You guys just wait. Alex had me running around.
She was booking it more than I was.
In Birkenstocks.
Yeah, I should have warned you about the shoe.
It's okay.
The shoe recommendation, but
man, we were getting all the pictures.
Yeah,
and I was not going to be in it.
I'm excited to see what I look like.
I'm excited to see this footage as well because it's me running around.
You were booking it, and it was a fun time.
That was fun.
But yeah, it's so enjoyable and meaningful. Especially with the kind of upfront intentionality of getting to know my clients, and this has a purpose to it beyond just, getting a bunch of photos taken. So, yeah.
What are some of the tools and systems you have inquired to help you? What are some of the editing software and stuff like that has helped you speed up
the
process?
I have a love-hate relationship with AI. And I think most people do.
Yeah.
Because it used to not be called AI. It used to just be called machine learning, or there were just things that computers were doing that were running all these calculations or algorithms, and that it was just called what it was called. Now it's all kind of under this umbrella term. And so I try for myself to really look at a tool and see, is this taking something valuable out? And that could be something valuable to me as just a creative, as a part of the process, or something valuable to the client, potentially. That could be if someone really loves how they may want their photos to look very candid or very real or very just no polish. They just want the raw, not the raw photo is a raw photo, that's a term.
Yeah.
But so I try to think about that. But the other side is my time is valuable. If I can save time, then that's going to be a benefit to the client. I can take more clients on, so I can help more people. So this is just a give and take, a push and pull for any business, for any industry. How do we stay human and bring value and connection without it becoming fake, or without it just being
AI generated? Well,
yeah, and I see people who can upload a selfie from their phone and generate a whole family professional photo shoot with AI. And it's okay, well, my job is screwed. But my job isn't actually holding the camera and taking the button. That's why I think what I do outside of that, products, connecting with a human, there will be people who will continue to value that. So going back to your actual question, as soon as I'm done with a photo shoot, I will put all my photos onto my computer and use a program called Aftershoot. And it can do a lot more than I'm using it for. Right now, I'm just using it to cull my 3,300 photos. I didn't look at all 3,300 of those because I know for a fact, doing this enough times, that most of those aren't good. Maybe some of them are amazing and I never saw them. But if I have 150 photos that are amazing already, they don't need 150 more.
Yeah.
If we're focusing on this.
Yeah.
So less is more, quality over quantity. Not saying there's anything wrong with a photographer giving you 1,000 photos, but it doesn't always increase the value ultimately. So once I've culled that down, then I will go through, I think I went through probably 1,000. And so that saves you a lot of time.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a tool. I use Adobe for the actual editing process. I have, of course, tools for finances and all that stuff too.
Yeah. So since you do have a lot of the tools to like kind of censor out a lot of the extra photos, what do you spend the most time on?
Yeah, that's a good question. Editing is definitely a very long process. The rule of thumb is the more prepared you are for the session itself, the less you have to do in editing. So that could be how you prompt a family to act or move or pose, what kind of lighting you choose, so the time of day, the time of year, the colors that are going to be there or not be there, the clothes that they're wearing. Like, all of those things contribute to how long it's going to take to correct the photo and stylize it. So either way, I can, again, be a perfectionist and spend way too much time on the details that no one would notice. So really, it's just being able to find that sweet spot where I'm happy with it and I'm not, going into every single little thing. But at the same time, I'm positioning towards a more luxury, high-end experience and end result. So it is really something that I want to be very focused on. But what, in this example where I maybe chose 150 photos to present to them, so they get to choose the ones that they want in a book or on the wall. Those are the ones I'm going to focus way more time on in making perfect. So it's kind of this pyramid of, so we're kind of funneling down into the end result. And so, you want to spend more and more time on the things that matter most. And so, I kind of look at it like that, where the closer we get to the end result, the more detailed you want to be.
Yeah. What is something that still feels challenging even now?
Hearing a no.
Really?
That's always going to be something that's hard for me. Well, maybe not always, but I spend a lot of time up front, and maybe this is part of where I'm pivoting, is investing in hearing about someone's life, hearing about their season. You want to build a connection, to build trust, to make the step of moving forward for a client to feel easy. And so that can feel very personal. That can feel like I'm spending a lot of time and effort and energy. And so when that just gets severed and they're like, we found something else. Yeah. It's like, whoa, okay, that I will never see you again, probably. That's really hard, especially for ones that I'm like, I'm really excited about this. There were a couple weddings this year that I was really excited about that ended up going a different direction. And so I give myself, for a normal kind of family photo shoot or something, I'll give myself, half a day to just be sad. Just be like, that sucks. That's disappointing. Yeah. At this point in my business, I can afford to just be like, what? I can feel it and then learn from it better by just getting past all of that. So it's hard, but it's worth it to, the more people you get in front of, the more no's you're going to hear. And so that exposure therapy of just, it's not personal. Yeah. And if I was shopping around for a photographer, like, I would probably do like the same thing. I'd probably have to get a couple quotes, see which one fits best for me. And so, at the end of the day, I try to say, they weren't my client. They're not mine. It's okay.
Are you where you thought you would be by now?
I really had a goal of leaving my corporate job last year, and we've had a lot of house projects come up that we decided, let's invest in that. Let's make our home a little more functional. That way, we don't just have, it's not just difficult living every day. So like, yeah, just having a functioning home supports me, supports my business. And so we just made that decision. And so, yeah, there's you could call it a road bump, but I think it's been pretty intentional.
Yeah.
The decision to slow down or pivot. And so, yeah, it's been, I can't believe it's already June in 2026. Like that, it just keeps going so fast. And I use that like feeling for myself to strike fear in my clients. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, you're
like,
fine.
but it's like, hey, I personally know now, having a son, how fast this goes. And you have 3 kids. I can't imagine how much it feels like it's flying by. Like, this is a perfect opportunity. Even if there's nothing special going on, you will want to look back on this. And so, I joke about like, like, I want to help people understand the value that they actually get from it, especially for people who haven't maybe done a professional family photos. Maybe their last photos were their wedding and they've had 3 kids. It's like, so yeah, it's one of those things where I can now personally speak to, this life goes by way too fast, and the investment is worth it for sure.
I feel like time's just speeding up, and they're just not telling us, because my dad told, like, he came to help me move that for this, and he was like, yeah, I've got this bodybuilding show in September, and like that's 2 months away. I'm like, September's 2 months away?
No, it's
and he
not.
was like, yeah, like it's literally in 2 months. And I was like, that's
He's
crazy.
lying.
Because well, he has 2 months to get ready for it. So like July, August, and then September. But
yeah,
I'm just like, that's crazy that it has flown by.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
It's crazy. Okay. So what is some things that you wish that you knew before starting, that you would tell someone that asked you, hey, I'm starting a photography business, what's some advice?
That's a hard question to answer, because it really depends on the level of skill. And it's hard to, like, I've been doing photography for so long as a hobby, for my own enjoyment, for my own creative projects, that like the actual technical side of it matters so much to the end result. It's easier than ever to buy a camera that is good enough quality where I would say this could be like a professional thing. But yeah, I would say, like, really learning how to use a camera, like really understanding every setting will be a huge part of building a business that is more than just a service, but an experience. Because you can't really focus on the family in front of you or the person in front of you if you are absorbed in your camera. And so that would be kind of my first piece of advice, is just learn everything about it. It's a very technical process. Even in the digital age, like, film cameras were even more technical, probably. And so that's true of really any part of a business, is like, you want to know your finances like the back of your hand. That way, when you're quoting somebody, you're not fidgeting around with everything in your head. You just know, your numbers, what you need, what things cost. Like, if Walmart was just like, you got to the register and you're like, yeah, I think this is probably worth around this much. I don't know. Like, people are not going to feel confident to go and buy from Walmart if it's just going to be a random thing every time. And so getting that kind of technical and business plan, business goals thing out of the way, so that someone can actually go through your experience and feel good about it, is so important for building an actual successful business.
What would you recommend for keeping those things organized?
I mean, there are a lot of tools, for depending on the volume you want to do, right? So maybe you're single, you're in college, and you want to do 10 sessions a week. It's a lot of sessions when you think about booking and the photos themselves, editing, delivery. Like, that's a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
But you might literally have no other responsibilities, and you're just like, I'm gonna make as much money as I can. That's great. So like, you're gonna need tools to manage that volume a little bit more. For me, my volume's really low because I don't need as many. I can't fit as many in my current life. But so it can be a little bit more personable. It can be a little bit more on the fly. I keep notes in my notes app. And I can look at those anytime on my phone or on my computer.
Yeah.
So, I think whatever works where you don't let things slip through the cracks. And yeah, there are so many ways you can kind of figure all those pieces out.
Yeah. What was something that you believed early on that turned out to be wrong?
I think that, kind of calling back to what I said earlier, is like, underneath the surface, I believed that I had to serve everyone. And that my pricing had to be something I could afford. And, maybe one day I would love to be at a place where I can afford, the most luxury services, but I don't, that's okay.
Yeah.
So I can be a luxury service. I can have a high-end experience and not be at a place where I'm my own ideal client. And then that means that the people who want a $50 photographer, like, they're not my client.
Yeah.
So
and that's
it's not
just something
personal.
you got to be
Yeah.
okay with.
Yeah.
What separates people who succeed from people who quit in photography? Would you say, in your own opinion?
You have to love people. Although, I mean, I guess there's other types of photography. You could do business photography. You could do architecture photography. You can do sports, cars. Like, there's a lot of verticals. There's a lot of niches in photography itself. So speaking from like, if you want to do weddings, if you want to do families, newborns, like, you have to love people, or not that people are always hard to work with, but it can feel robotic, any business, if you don't look people in the eyes and truly listen and care about them. And so there's a balance there. Like, again, you can't just throw out discounts because you really like a person. I mean, you can, actually.
Yeah, you can when you're a business owner, but like, it doesn't really look great in the eyes of your sales.
So the people who quit photography, I don't know.
All right, we'll just skip
I don't
that.
know anyone who's quit.
That's fine.
Like, I think the last thing, though, in terms of like what is successful, taking a step back and working on your own mindset around your value. And personally, even just the idea of success or money has been a very winding journey for me. Thinking things like, I don't deserve to have X amount of income, even though it might not be my chief goal. Like, limiting myself is probably would have been one of the reasons I quit. And you have to get past that.
Yeah. What is something that people do not see behind your success? Because personally, mine is, people don't see the fact that it takes a week to do one episode.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just of editing an episode. To actually get it scheduled and filmed and all of that, it takes weeks for one episode. And so, like, you don't see that on the front end.
I think that's the same, especially with how involved my process is. I think people do see it though. They really actually are vocal about, maybe they've had a photographer before that's kind of just in and out. Or maybe they never even talk with that photographer on the phone before their session. A lot of photographers do that. They just book through leads online on their website or on Facebook, and like that's okay. Like that's totally a valid thing to do. When they see how much effort, time, energy, and care that goes into working with me, they are vocal about that. So maybe that doesn't answer your question, because it is something they see.
Yeah.
I try to be transparent with them about it and bring them along that journey of like, this is everything you get. This is all the time you save. This is, you know, the kind of experience you're going to have. And if that's a good fit for you, then let's move forward. Maybe the emotional side of it.
It's still true to something that people don't see, because like they don't see that until they are a client.
Yeah. Totally.
So like if you're a client shopping, then you would never see that part.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's a good way to put it.
It still counts.
Yeah.
What is the most underrated part of success?
Underrated part of success.
Making you dig deep.
Being able to put my name on stuff is really, it is satisfying. And of course, success doesn't have to be a solo entrepreneurship. For me, when I put my name on a gallery I'm sending out, or a book that I'm handing to somebody, like it literally has my name, like it has my name on the back.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I saw it whenever you flipped it over, but I wasn't sure what it said.
So it's
pretty.
Get like that. I talked about this before, but that fulfillment and like thinking about my own life and how fast it goes, like I think that's the most underrated part, is like the people you work with, actually their life changes in some way if they hadn't talked to you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I was talking about the people who quit. They're probably not making that connection. So yeah.
Speaking of like, to the point of you're like, whenever you meet someone, their life does change. Do you believe in the string theory?
What
of everything
is the description of that?
So essentially
connected?
Everything is connected. Like everything happens for a reason, and that even later on in life, you still find ways that are connected to like things in the past. Do you believe in that?
In some way, yes. And I think that everything is created to harmonize with each other. We're all made in the image of God, and we can all move towards light or move towards darkness. And so this is just true, like physically. When you bring light into a dark room, everything gets illuminated. Light doesn't have a specific path. It just emanates. It just goes to where it can.
Yeah.
So I think in that way, when we move towards light, when we are light to other people, when we radiate some kind of love or joy or peace, it goes to where it can.
Yeah.
And so in terms of